fancy new countdown and everything. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the Greg Cherry Show. Greg Cherry, alongside Jeff Meacham. My office looks freaking naked.
I was gonna say we both got the bare bones backdrops today.
Yeah, can you tell I'm moving tomorrow?
Like literally tomorrow, you're gonna sign off, go to sleep, and that's it for that studio. Done.
Yep. We don't even get like, I mean, we do have a special episode at least
yes.
to commemorate this because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to do this intro. She does a lot of things, so I'm going to try and get it. I don't think I have it all even.
Multi-layered resume for this young lady.
Hey, she's killing it. That's all that matters. She is the host. She's the host of a Wrestling Gal podcast. She works for SE Scoops. She's done stuff for WrestleZone, Wrestle Inc. She does the Women's Wrestling Talk podcast. She does commentary on Capital Championship Wrestling, and the editor of the Grown Ass Women podcast with Mickey James, SoCal Val, and Lisa Marie Veron. I mean, that's a stacked resume. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show.
What's up? My background isn't Barefoot today, so at least we have that. I got some good company with me back here, but it's the end of an era for you, Greg. But so exciting too at the same time.
Yes, it is the end of an era, but you know what? It's the show will continue. It's just going to look a lot different here in 2-3 weeks whenever I decide to come back.
Also, you guys have like the absolute best intro music I've ever heard. Like, honestly, as Josh was saying in there, can we appreciate for a minute absolutely how catchy it is? Because it absolutely is.
Right.
I mean, it is. Like every week, it seems whenever the intro starts playing, Jeff and I are dancing off screen. Like that's a little behind the scenes.
So was I.
Yeah. So that's some good stuff. So welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to finally be here. I know it's the end of an era for you guys, but I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
Well, it feels like I've been moving for about 3 years. I'm still in the process of moving out of the old house. So, you know, Greg and his wife are just got it on point, man. They're out in 3 weeks. They don't give a shit. They're done. They're over. It's over. So good on them for streamlining.
All the credit goes to the wife. You know, she's
That's fair. That's fair.
She is the organized one.
You're a wise man.
This is yes. He is the Paul Heyman to our channel. He is the wise man, no doubt about that. Goodness gracious.
Well, if there's rules in the household, then she's the head of the table.
That's right. He's the boss because she says he can be.
That's exactly it. So again, welcome to the show. You have just transitioned full time into the wrestling media space, and that's been fairly recent that you did that. So, for those who don't know you, despite the long intro, what do you want these people to know?
So it's like it'll be 3 weeks tomorrow. Actually, I've been doing wrestling media full time now. Finally, that was a goal of mine for like the past 2 years. Obviously, as we call it in wrestling, I had a shoot job in retail for the longest time, even before I started podcasting and all that. But you know, like this is something that I was absolutely manifesting for almost 2 years, and now I've finally made this side hustle into the full-time thing, and I'm still adjusting to it, working from home and doing everything and going a little crazy, but honestly I love what I'm doing.
That's the important thing. I mean, I started this show a couple years ago. Of course, that was after I lost my shoot job. So I didn't have the benefit of I have a different shoot job now, but this really started as fun, and it's still fun for me. It's not a full-time gig. Like, I mean, I'm kind of jealous, honestly, getting the full-time gig for doing the wrestling media, but you put the work in, and it's clear you have so many different things that you're doing, so many podcasts. I don't want you to rank a favorite because that's not fair. But
I can tell you, I have the most fun doing interviews, although most of my compensated work now is writing wrestling news, which is still something I'm adjusting to doing full time. But honestly, interviewing is my absolutely favorite thing. It's what I started doing with my own podcast and like hosting shows. That's my favorite thing, although ironic because like I hate public speaking. But these are literally my favorite things to do. Obviously, I'm trying to be full rounded though and get more experience in writing. And obviously I've been doing commentary for under a year now. So, I mean, I'm just trying to be well-rounded, though, too, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Commentary is a hard thing to do. And like I expected after watching wrestling for so many years that I would like sit on the mic and I would be like Bobby the Brain Heenan. I was not even close. I was, more like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Like that's how different. It's really tough behind a microphone. It really is. Yeah. And so the fact that you're doing it for an all women's organization over Capital
Championship Wrestling. I will say I'm very fortunate that I had somebody like an Alyssa Marino who's done commentary for like Ring of Honor, and she's literally everywhere. I have like the best partner. We also host a podcast for CCW, so that I got the podcasting down. But going into commentary, I've been very fortunate that Alyssa has kind of been my mentor and knowing how to put things together, and we just kind of vibe well together. So I got to learn from seeing and watching her, and so I've been very lucky that I've had like a mentor to string me along when I just don't know what to say sometimes. So I'm still getting the reps in, but I'm very fortunate for her.
That woman is a credit to the independent wrestling community. Yeah. She just is wonderful. I had her as an interview guest. Not that it feels like forever ago. It wasn't long ago. Of course, Andy Zeno popping in because that's what Andy does. But it was cool to have her and hear her perspective. And I love that you're telling your story about the not public speaking. That was me 20 years ago. 20 years ago this week actually.
I was 5 then.
I'm gonna get my walker, Greg. I'll be right back. Don't mind me. I'm gonna get my walker. I'll come back.
I'm gonna walk off screen and you'll hear my knees click.
You're gonna hear my back crack and my liver from the abuse, as Dusty would say. Yeah, it's one of those. It's amazing how quickly doing the interviews that I came out of my shell, and then going to video was even scarier. Yes. So the fact that you've been doing it, you can totally out of how young you are. So being that, having that youthful energy is just a godsend. It was to me then. I know it is to you now.
I know. I was the absolute same as you. When I started my podcast, I did audio only. I graduated with a psychology degree, so I like the interpersonal stuff, but it's public speaking and putting myself out there, which is why I think I did audio for the first year and a half of my podcasting. I really didn't do any video stuff or do any live streams for the first year and a half. I wouldn't say till the beginning of 2021, really. I wasn't really doing any the beginning of 2021 is when I really started doing more video content. And then that's really when all the ducks fell in a row with SE Scoops and then Gotcast and all of that stuff. Everything really started in 2021, I feel like. But no, I did audio for the first year and a half of my podcast, just audio. Even when talking to guests, I wouldn't even do video. I can't look at you. So but now I've just adjusted to it, and it's honestly my favorite.
Yeah, I have to say the same thing. You mentioned talking with Alyssa Marino, the fact that you're commentary partners. Can I tell you how easy it is when you have somebody to work off of?
Yes.
I'm pointing to you, Jeff.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Just every time he and I get back together on a Wednesday, it's I get the praise. I'm it's honestly just one of those things that I've had. Again, here we go with the back cracking and the spine curving. Just I've had the benefit of the years. You mentioned your first video. The first time I did it, we did a video where we did an interview. If Aaron and I can ever find the archives, it's just deer in the headlights for the first year at least. We're just because my partner and I would, we had the fortunate opportunity to befriend a lot of the people that we were interviewing. Yeah. We interviewed the audio before, then we do video, so we were familiar with them already. A lot of these guys were meeting the PWG. We just met them for the first time. It's it's a lot of stuttering, which I still do now even. So like I said, the fact that you are coming along, and again, you're getting the benefit of coming along in an era where everybody's able to have a video presentation, and the public speaking thing is a definite thing to overcome, and that's awesome that you were able to. I mean, it's really much just throw your ass in the deep end and make sure you don't sink.
Pretty much. I literally waited in college till my last semester to get my public speaking requirement out of the way. That's how much I hated it, and still even sometimes I'm still in person but obviously as time goes on, you get more reps in and you get more confident with it. So I definitely see myself, and I've gotten feedback on it from some cool people that I look up to about just how even in just a year they can see the improvement that I've made. So it's cool.
Well, You mentioned Val. Val was such a key component to us early on video. I mean, number one, not hard to look at, so that was helpful. But number two, just her personality just came out much more on video than it did on audio, even back then. Because back then in 2004, she was, she was just, fresh into it. She was so just bubbly, and she's grown into her own self in the last 18 years, God help me. And she was great to have around. You mentioned you work with Mickey, you work with Lisa. That's just got to be the best.
Do you know what though? Val was actually the second video interview I ever did. The first one was Lisa, because Lisa was the one who convinced me, because I had used Skype for the first year, but Lisa she was set on using Zoom, so I was like, oh gosh, how is this gonna go? So it ended up being a total disaster. We could not get Zoom to set up, so we went to Skype. But Lisa was actually my first video interview. Val was my second. So I got fortunate that those two, I think, were my first really to throw myself in the deep end. So this video component.
Yeah, I find it so great that we have you on for this, because just this morning, our buddies over at No DQ announced the nominees for our own Hall of Fame for 2022, the female nominees, and Lisa's in the group. So
you got my dream match in that lineup.
There you go. Yeah, I of anybody here, I mean, granted, they're all awesome and they've all got their own stories and everything, but when you're looking at long tenure, you got to go with Mickey or Lisa there. So that's where I voted, for the record, if y'all want to have myself be added. So yeah, working with those people and working with Val, just I love y'all's show. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful you get to be a part of that. I know the editing is not exactly the glamour part of the job, but it's still, fun to work with those folks. So
you know what? I have so much fun with it. Anybody who knows me, Mickie James was literally the first woman I ever saw in women's wrestling, and is my biggest hero in life. And so it kind of getting to build this rapport throughout the years, and then obviously they started GAW TV, and then just how naturally everything just kind of came together. Not a lot of people get to say that they work with their heroes and become friends with their heroes on speed dial. So it's just really surreal. And just for the record, my dream match in there is Mickey and Charlotte. If anybody follows me on Twitter, I have started the campaign. I've been saying it for years now, but I do love Lisa. All the women in that lineup absolutely deserve that spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Mickey's one of the few that, Charlotte really hasn't had the opportunity to dance with a lot. So why not?
Only once for a minute in the Rumble in 2021. Yeah. And then they were in the ring at the same time during the 2022 Rumble, but they never touched, which I'm still salty about. So I'm hoping some point on this last rodeo, maybe the wrestling gods, the Forbidden Door, can rain down on us.
Yeah, well, if anybody knows about the Rumble, it's Greg, man. That's his bag. So I'm sure he was enjoying that as much as anybody. The fact that we had a brief moment there, because I know Charlotte's not exactly Greg's favorite. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna try to quiet the Sasha love from Greg Cherry over there, but yeah,
I do like Sasha too. I like all of the women in there. Sasha, I mean, obviously she's been out of the game, but there's no denying the fact that the impact she's had, her natural athletic abilities, and her popularity is so well deserved.
I don't think I've ever seen a better. I've said this before. I feel like Charlotte and Bianca are better athletes overall, but Sasha is the better wrestler. That's my opinion.
Right.
And anybody can take it or leave it and be like, "Oh no, Sasha sucks. Oh no, Charlotte's this or that." It's
no, it's they're all good. Opinion.
It's they're opinions, folks. That's why they're there. They're for discussion, and it's Sasha's part of the bigger corporate family I'm part of now, so I gotta throw a little more love her way than I used to. So it's all good.
Disney, that's right.
Yeah, and the Forbidden Door,
every damn thing, right? So
yeah,
the Forbidden Door I want to see Mickey walk through is being on Jack of All Trades. That's the one
there you go.
Yes, so that's what I'm hoping for. We do have a question from Josh. Donated $2. Thank you, Josh. He says, "Hey Ella, he's got two questions for you. Doing a little 2 for 1, aren't you, there, Josh?
Aha!
Good on you." He's asking you, who is your Mount Rushmore of female wrestlers?
Oh, jeez.
And also, do you have a favorite American football team? And he threw in a Chase Claypool dig because I'm a Steelers fan.
So are you guys familiar with where I'm from? Is where I am. We're first in the AFC East. So I don't know how you guys feel. I don't watch a lot of football, but I have to support my Buffalo Bills because that's from where I'm
They're
from.
killing it. I
They
picked them to win
are.
the whole thing.
Like I don't really follow much football, but we're known for going through the tables here at our tailgates.
Yes.
We even have a Buffalo tables match I've seen before at a local indie show here before. So I have to, like, if I had to, it would be for the Buffalo Bills, although I don't really follow much football, but I'm from Buffalo, so I have to root for them. Bills Mafia. I'm from here, so I feel like I have to. I can't go against them. Mount
You
Rushmore.
and Professor Harrison both.
Hey, Josh, stay on your Cleveland thrill. You're from Cleveland. You guys actually won a game this weekend. Let's just stick with that, Josh. Okay,
The Browns actually won.
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
The
Browns beat my Bengals, so he should just
Like I thought
Well,
the
to be
Steelers
fair,
down they had on
it's-
Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago was bad, but they whooped on Cincinnati.
It's one of those. I'm so glad the Cowboys have a winning record because the Bengals are just stepping on their own lately. So yikes. Oh, it's terrible. But yeah, the Bills have had the unfortunate looking sideways at for so many years. I mean, they fell in 4 straight Super Bowls. That was rough. So I'm glad for the city and for the fans that they're actually getting their money's worth this year. That's cool for them.
I hope they get it. Like I'd like to see a Buffalo.
Yeah, right.
Win. If the Steelers aren't going to do jack, so
clearly they're not.
I know nothing.
No.
I know most of the team names. I don't know much else besides how the Bills are doing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fine. If any year you got into football, this would be the year if you're from Buffalo.
That's right.
Sure. Finally, maybe.
Yes.
But Mount Rushmore, was it like generally or like women's wrestling or like
it was specifically women's wrestling.
Okay. So Mickie James is easy.
Naturally.
Now the thing is, I kind of interchange 2 of them because I can't decide between 2 of them. But for sure, Mickie James, she's a legend in the game. I'm also just biased towards her, but also Lita is on mine. I do love Trish and Lita, but I feel like I've always been drawn more towards Lita. So Lita's on there. The Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Mercedes Martinez is one who I feel is criminally underrated. She's had so many amazing matches like in Rise, in Shimmer. Obviously, Mae Young Classic. She's basically been in like every major promotion now. Yep. So I love her. And then the other one, I kind of changed in a couple years. But I'm between Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair. Personally, for all time, I can't pick between them. I do think as like Charlotte's career goes on more, I feel like she'll solidify her spot. She's done a lot, but I feel like she also has a lot left to give. Io Shirai is also great. In Japan Stardom, she's obviously like that woman just impresses me so much. So like 4/5. I can't decide on the last one. Love my 4 of those 5. Sorry for my internet going out for a sec.
No, it's perfectly fine.
You told us about 10 minutes. We've been so far. You're absolutely on the money. So there you go. You're good to go. Yeah, I am so glad to hear somebody say something positive about Charlotte and at the same time acknowledge that she's still really young in the business and still can contribute more. Because, she's been thrown down our throats. Yes, she's a 13-time whatever, but she's still got a lot there's still a lot of people in the company she hasn't worked with yet, and there's still,
Mickie James.
Well, it's funny. I mean, Josh even said it. If WWE can open the forbidden door for Mickie last year, and if we get Nakamura and Muta and Noah, oh my God, we can get Mickie James back for Mania. Like, come on.
Please, you don't understand. Like, I will be going to Mania. So, like, ideally, that would be the situation. But I'm also pretty sure I'm going to end up going to the Rumble, too. So, if she's back at the Rumble, I mean, hopefully Charlotte's back by then, too.
If she's just still honeymooning, a year later. Even though Andrade's still back on TV, so I don't know how that works. Right. Exactly.
He's still with AEW at this point.
Yeah. Right? That's the thing. I was supposed to go to Mania. Like I said, I got the whole work thing where I sold my ticket. But if things like this keep happening, I may have to just find a cheaper seat even higher than I was sitting and go.
You get tickets the day of. for cheap. That's
Right.
I learned that
That's
the hard way at this year's Mania. Oh, so we know to wait till the day of.
Well, it's one of those. At best, I'm an hour train ride away. If I don't get scheduled by the Mass that day, I will head down the freeway.
There you go.
We'll see.
I'm waiting until Mania 40 in Philly.
Yeah, I know, because it's in Philly and it's closer.
That's only an hour flight from me. I'll be there too. I already knew that. I had to get convinced to go to Mania LA next year. I got peer pressured into going because everybody else was going except for me. So I was like, okay.
Hey, I gave the entire team crap because I'm turning 40 exactly 1 month before Mania. So everybody come out and celebrate my birthday, and nobody's coming now. Not a damn person's coming.
I'm in the middle of a move, okay?
I know you're in the middle of a move. Damn you. It's all right. Like I said, I think I'm going now. And the only reason I get to see any of the circle is because I think Aaron may be coming out late February for another birthday as well as my own. So there is that. So.
All right. So, all your podcasting stuff, I do have to ask, is there anybody that you haven't had the chance to work with on like a wrestling video or anything else? Because the wrestling media space is insane. I mean, you have No DQ, you have Fightful, you have, WrestleZone, which you do work for, SE Scoops. Is there anybody who you'd like to do shows with at some point?
In the wrestling media space specifically?
Yes.
Who I haven't done one with. You know what? Like, honestly, as trivial as this sounds, it's ironic I say that. Like, Quizlemania is one that I like really wanted. Like Wednesday like afternoon/evenings are like one of the 2 days a week where I'm like pretty free normally. So I was like, that's been as like stupid as that sounds, as trivial as that sounds. It's like it's very much a goal of mine. So okay. Quizlemania 2023.
Okay, so
listen. Let me tell the story because
yes, please do.
I had a campaign on this show for 2 years to get on Quizlemania.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wait, it gets better.
Do I have the clip still?
It's still there. It's still there.
Oh, is it still there? Okay. It got to the point where, like, even Sean Ross Sapp was getting in on the Greg Cherry for Quizlemania because I started that on this show kind of as a gag, but then it started to pick up steam. And I got this lovely moment from Quizlemania back in January.
Greg Cherry for Quizlemania. Greg Cherry for Quizlemania. Greg Cherry for Quizlemania. Hashtag Greg Cherry for Quizlemania.
When you said you would fill for 10 minutes until RJ City got here, this is not what you promised
Greg
me,
Cherry
John.
for Quizlemania.
Stop pulling back the curtain, Sean Ross.
Do it.
So how?
I love Sean, and I love the fact that you had that ready to go.
Oh, it's always here.
Oh yeah, I played it every week until I got on the show.
I don't know what was worse, the fact he did that, the fact that he told me about it, and I had to button my beak for a month. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So I mean, a bunch of them that are on there I've worked with previously already. I've never worked with Adam though. So like at Adam Blompede, like hello at Parts Fun Known, like. Ella J for Quizlemania. Greg, can we? I can get Sean on the train. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty good with Sean, but like start the campaign now for 2023.
You got it.
Hey, if they do a tag team one, I'll join you.
I'm down.
I'm a veteran of Quizlemania now. My whole one appearance.
But, I've done wrestling media full time now, but I want Quizlemania.
That's right.
That's more important.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a new goal in life. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't busy on Thursdays, like Jack of all trades is basically Quizlemania.
I know. Tuesday, Thursdays, though. You know, it's funny, though. Tuesday, Thursdays are my loaded days where I work 11 hours. And I've had already 3 things that I've had to pass up on because I work Tuesday, Thursdays. And I'm like, oh, gosh. And it's too soon for me to like shift around stuff. You know, and like make up the hours. I was like, but I feel so bad. I've had to like pass up on 3 things because it was on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Those are my heavy days, unfortunately.
That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. But Thursdays is a tough time. I'm thinking maybe.
You know, I purposely did Tuesdays and Thursdays because like the big shows aren't on though. It's not like a SmackDown or Raw or an AEW day, but it seems like everybody's had the same idea I did, that they're going to run shows or podcasts that day, because there is no, I mean, NXT's on, Impact's on too as well, but it doesn't have like, the same coverage that normally like a Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite have, So
Right.
I think everybody else had the same aspect as me, I guess.
I got the benefit of that because Aaron, our NoDQ, stopped covering NXT recaps, so I ended up getting Talk Wrestling back on NoDQ.com because of that. So it kind of worked out for me. But there's one of us has something going on every day. It's the rest. It's so funny when I talk about, everybody's cracking on me for the age thing in the chat room. It's like when we were doing this 20 years ago, there was nobody. Like it was like WrestleZone had theirs. It was Matt and Ryan at the time, and then we kind of popped in, and then once we really took off, and even Matt and Ryan took off, like all of a sudden, like everybody had their own damn show. It was ridiculous how fast that happened, and now all these years later, even a lot of people around back then have one, and a lot of people have one that are newer, like yourself and everybody. It's crazy how prolific the wrestling podcast / live stream / media community is. It's crazy,
especially at the start. I started like 8 months before the pandemic went into effect, so like mid 2019.
right?
And then the pandemic came, and then it was just saturated. I mean, that's how also Goth TV started. They were at home, they were like, we got nothing to do, we talk every day anyway, so let's put it on the internet, so
Greg, remember I said when that started, because I was the only one of the circle, as far as the No DQ circle or the do not put me on Quizlemania. I don't want no part of that shit. Send Ella. Chat room,
send
stop
Ella.
doing that.
Don't
send Ella,
Hook,
please.
send
I don't
Ella.
want no. I am retired from trivia. I'm good. Thank you. When I actually started my own network at the very beginning of end of 19 into 2020. That pandemic hit. I was the only one that like my livelihood's not affected because I do this shit from home anyway. I was so grateful that I had something, and it was awesome. So, but yeah, I can imagine the saturation, and I saw saturation firsthand because I thought, oh cool, I can do my own thing. I've been doing this long enough where I'll get on the ground floor. Yeah, no man, I got bombarded, and I ended up having to go back to YouTube because the audio stuff was just piling on different platforms. It was crazy. But again, we're all sitting home doing nothing for 2 years, so we had to figure out something to do.
Yeah, I will say I got an influx like that year alone, 2020 and 2021, like just on my podcast alone. In 2020, I did 95 episodes of my podcast. 2021, I think I did like 113. Obviously that has been about cut in half this last year because of everything else piling up, but that alone, like a lot of wrestlers were also doing a bunch of podcasts, which was a benefit to me because I got to have a lot of cool guests, but also like this media itself became so saturated. It was so hard to like make yourself stand out.
Yeah, it was. I noticed a lot more wrestlers, like the actual guys that have been in the business for so many years, and the gals too, really took to this platform and really, and granted, they had to help along the way. Conrad Thompson, people like that.
Matt Hardy, Kevin Nash, Ric Flair, like that. Yeah, a bunch of them.
Seriously, there was a time where I, thought that, okay, cool. He has one show a week or one show a day. God, it's freaking, it's obscene how much stuff he does now. In addition to having a shoot job like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely a wonderful. I found that as long as we, Greg and I, for sure, stay in our lane. There it is. Yeah. There's the hashtag for you. There you go.
I'm gonna tweet it out as soon as the show's over.
Thank
you. as long as we stay in our lane and don't get caught up in the Twitter and the other IWC drama, smooth sailing. It's wonderful. We love it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're not going to get into any Twitter drama because Twitter drama is so stupid.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's fun to watch it unfold. It's not fun when you get dragged into it at all.
It's not even fun to watch. It's not even fun to watch it unfold, especially
trust me, I am no stranger to that one.
Yeah. Especially when you see people you care about getting dumped on unfairly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It is. It's definitely a fine line. There's the people you care about, you don't want to see it down. And then there's people you just like like two people you dislike on both fronts. You're just like, yes, please implode. Yes, do the things. Go
You'll
away.
just
That's
watch
awesome.
from afar. Yeah.
I just sit there and go, yes.
Maybe
Very,
Elon Musk.
very thin line there.
Elon Musk buying Twitter maybe is destructing it. Maybe that's a good thing in the long run.
You know, like that's like honestly, that is my most like utilized platform. Like, and I mean, I'm very guilty of not promoting my stuff on other platforms, like,
Same.
but to grow and stuff. But Twitter is like how I communicate or how I like connect with like most of the honestly, the 90% of the wrestling community. Like, I'm barely on my personal Facebook. I'll go with a TikTok or Instagram like sometimes, but most of the communication is like Twitter.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing. Like, I have communicated with a lot of people. I mean, that's how I got Sean to do the trivia thing in December, January, whenever that's happening.
Yes.
But yeah, it's such a. It can be a good thing, but it can be such a cesspool sometimes.
Oh, I know. Mhm.
Yeah, we've it's funny. Yeah, Greg, we used to do my streams. We would do through StreamYard onto my work Facebook, but I keep getting some random copyright ping from somebody I've never heard of. We're not using their stuff, and I figured, you know what, just take it off there.
Yeah.
That's why I took it off there, Greg. Just for the FYI, it's like some random like content creator that I can't even pronounce the name of, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, so I don't want to get down the rabbit hole of whatever I'm trying to fight. So just Twitter as much of a cesspool as becomes, very rarely has any issues with the copyright part of things, which is, I guess, a good and a bad thing. YouTube, of course, is good. We also do this show on Twitch, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Lots of different platforms. Although, like, once I move into the new place, I do have a green screen that I bought like 8 months ago, and I haven't used it yet. So I do want to get into the gaming side and like do something different. Like, I do the wrestling talk, I do the sports talk all the time. I want to do something different. I want to expand and do more things. So
I watch a lot of gaming, but that is also something where I've like I know how to like I can play Jackbox. I can play like laptop or phone games. I don't know any of the fancy stuff, but I watch gaming. I watch a lot of gaming.
Yeah, so do I. I was watching DDR Dave this morning because I love watching Super Mario Maker. And he's a Steelers fan, so that helps. But yeah, Jackbox games are fun. They're a blast. So what's your favorite Jackbox game?
Oh gosh, you know what though? I don't know. I feel like Quiplash is such a classic. Espionage is really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Jackbox 9 that just came out, Rumoring, looks like it's such a fun game. It's like Big Brother. I was watching a couple of the streamers play it. It's like Big Brother. You have like the games and then you vote somebody out, and it seems like a lot of fun, but I haven't played it yet with my friends yet.
That's interesting because we do Jackbox game nights here quite a bit, so I'm sure we'll pick that pack up. My wife and I are big Trivia Murder Party fans.
Oh, that's a classic too.
We need to get on that with you guys more. Dylan is obsessed with that. We haven't done it at the new house yet, Greg. So when you guys get moved in and Dylan happens to be here, we'll connect. That's awesome.
Yeah, we can do Twitch streams and set that up and
absolutely
all that fun stuff.
I have not. Okay, I will say I have not played like Josh. I'm not like a Star Wars person, so I have not played it. Like the first gaming system I ever got was my Wii. I don't even know how to use an Xbox or controller, or I don't because I refuse to so unless it's on my computer or I can play it on my phone, like I can't. Or if it's on my Wii, I will play it. I'm still old school with that. We still got my Wii going.
Hey, I was Nintendo for the okay. Again, let me grab my Ovaltine and my walker here. I played the Nintendo, the NES, like the old one, the Super NES. I didn't convert to PlayStation until PlayStation 2 was the first one I had, and then it was only because SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 was on PlayStation, not on a Nintendo system. Like, okay, you got me. And then I only went to Xbox because Dylan wanted an Xbox, and he didn't want anything to deal with Nintendo. All right, that's fair. And, of course, I still know what the hell I'm doing, but I know that you can connect Xbox easier than a lot of them to the streaming platforms, so we'll see.
I actually, while I was packing my room, I packed my PlayStation 2, my Nintendo 64, and I have this gaming system that can play in old school Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games. Like the old school gamer in me appreciates stuff like that. And I'll probably end up playing a bunch of those on stream. Like I understand they're not the popular games. They're not like the Fortnites or Mario Maker will probably happen because I like playing that one. But it's not like the first person shooters or anything like that. It's like, these are just games that I enjoy. And if you enjoy them too, fine. If not, whatever. But I'm just going to have fun and play them.
When we finally get moved, I'm going to like bring from my dad's room and the upper recesses of the closet, the old Atari, and make people go, what is that? They ain't ever seen the original one before. They have the new ones that they re-released. I got an original one up in the closet. It's older than me, put it that way. And
I'm so very basic, like with my games. I only will play like Jackbox. I'll play Town of Salem, like Among Us. I like watching GTA. I've never I've only played GTA myself once because again, like I'm not good with controllers or anything. So like I'm very basic.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like Wii Sports is a pretty simple game.
Wii. Anything on the Wii. Oh yeah. I got you with that.
Yeah, Wii Sports. I remember sitting like the Raw after WrestleMania 32, I want to say. T-Fame and I were playing Wii Bowling, like the 100-pin challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Those were fun.
For 4 hours straight.
Jesus.
After Raw.
After Raw, after Mania.
After Raw.
Because you do after Mania, you're a crazy person. You know exactly how long that Mania was. Aaron and I lived it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even after Raw, it was still 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and we played for 4 hours.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's
I love Wii Bowling. Oh, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 was the first wrestling video game I ever got. Would play that all the time on the Wii. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't buy a wrestling game after 07 because when they went to 08 on the PS2, 07 and before you could change the controller settings back to the way they always used to be. With 08, it's like, nope, this is the way it's going to be. It's like, well, I can't play that. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. At that point, I was already 25. Like, I'm old and set in my ways. Leave me alone. No, I don't want this shit. I didn't play wrestling game again until Dylan got 2K, the one before the Botched one, whatever the hell that was. 2K19, I guess it was.
2K20 was the one.
I think the latest wrestling video game I have is 2K14. I don't have, we have 2K12. Was Punk 2K12? I think it was Punk.
2K13, I think.
Was he? I swear we have the one with Punk on it, whichever one that is. I do have, yes, SmackDown versus Raw having Broken Dreams. Exactly, Josh. That was honestly I know they would play Evan Bourne's theme song a lot on that one too.
Yes.
I miss 2K is the latest. I think the latest one I have is 2K14.
And Josh, for the record, at 11 Eastern, which would have been 8 o'clock Pacific, Aaron and I were already bald as cue balls because we got our head shaved that morning at the barber, thanks to Matt Cardona's dumbass losing the title on. It wasn't because he lost, because he won the Intercontinental title match. That's why we got our head shaved.
Oh.
And then he dropped it the next night.
The next night,
seriously,
yeah.
We're sitting in the office watching Raw, going, okay, damn it, really? It was very, very long Monday without being able to keep our heads warm because they were bolder than.
Well, the thing is, you're not telling the whole story because you had a double bet. Like the first bet was you'd shave your head if Ryder won the Intercontinental title, and you'd shave all your facial hair if Shane jumped off the cell, which he did.
Yeah. Okay. So Aaron made the bet because at this point Aaron was like freaking Wyatt family status. I mean, he had a mane of hair, and just even Eric Rowan was like, dude, you might want to shave the beard. And I'm like, you know what, Aaron, I'll jump in with you on both. Why not? Well, sure as hell. Zack Ryder wins the IC title, and there's a point in the video we actually tackle Aaron in our buddy's living room. We didn't show it actually happening because it didn't really happen there. Sorry for the kayfabe spoil, Aaron. And then, of course, Shane does that damn cell dive. It's like, oh, it's going to be a long afternoon at the barber. There's a picture on our social at McDonald's when we walked in afterwards. We are both bald as the day we were born. A completely no hair anywhere on our head. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember.
Never again will I bet on wrestling on that front.
Yeah, I remember. I was just talking about this the other day. I don't remember why we were talking about Cardona, Zack Ryder climbing a ladder and winning in a match. Didn't that match have No, I'm thinking of I think the year after with Bryan and Ziggler, where Bryan won the IC
Year
title a
before,
couple years later.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I remember that match. That was like Ryder was the one with like the least amount of odds, but sometimes they like to pull off the surprises.
I wouldn't have minded, nor really would have Aaron if he hadn't dropped to Miz the very next
Yeah.
freaking night. That was when we were convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that they watch our stuff and they did it just to mess with us. Like I'm convinced that's a thing now.
To be fair, Miz also won maybe the year before or something from Barrett, but didn't he drop it the next night also back to Barrett to Raw? They just like doing that with the IC title. I
Yeah,
feel
29. He
Well,
won
yeah.
the title on the pre-show.
Yeah.
And then dropped
Well,
it
you
back
know,
to
back
Barrett.
when they actually defended the Intercontinental title on pay-per-view, back in those days.
Yeah.
Hey,
legit
Gunther and
question.
Sheamus defended it.
true.
Gunther
It's
defended it against Sheamus at Clash at the Castle.
But before that, when was
And
really
before
the
that,
last
yeah,
time-
thank you, Ella. Yeah,
I don't think Shinsuke ever defended it on paper. I don't remember the last time. I think it was over a year at that point.
It
since
was
they had last defended
WrestleMania
it.
Pandemic was the last time the Intercontinental was defended on a premium live paper, whatever the hell you want to call it. It took
Big
2
E
years.
against Apollo Crews. So Apollo never defended it on pay-per-view. Shinsuke never defended it on
It's
pay-per-view.
crazy.
Sammy never defended it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Ricochet never defended it on
Yeah.
pay-per-view. So we had several reigns in there.
There were
None
some
of them on
decent
pay-per-view.
Intercontinental champions, athletically speaking, and
Yeah.
even to like characters that just did not get their shine. It was so bad. Oh, anyway, that was a tangent and a half.
What about oh my god, am I dating myself? Was Sammy not 20 was that not 2020 the ladder match with Sammy, Hardy, and was it AJ Styles? I know it was Sammy and Jeff. It was
Yeah, it was
That
a
was
triple
prior
threat,
to
yeah.
that WrestleMania.
okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
the program with Hardy where the Hardy had his ear
Yes.
involved. That was at I think the Rumble that year, or maybe
Got
the one
it.
before, the one
Yeah.
after. But yeah, it was definitely pre-pandemic
Okay.
WrestleMania. So yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
like I said, it was over 2 years before we got an
Yeah.
Intercontinental premium
Crazy.
defense. Oof.
Yeah, the triple threat ladder match was in the Thunderdome, and I love the finish to that match because Sammy handcuffed both AJ and Jeff
Yeah.
and climbed the ladder and won the title.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It-
I
It
mean,
was so good.
Sammy. We've all talked about it on our various shows, not with Ella because Ella is just now on your show right now, Greg. But
Yeah.
if Sammy is hands out the MVP of WWE in 2022, please tell me who is. I mean, really.
Him or Rollins, it has to
Yeah.
be. Him
Yeah.
or Rollins. That's about it.
Yeah, like I so look forward to Roman music. Just I know Sammy's walking out with him. Like I know it's going to be something
Mhm.
either ridiculous or compelling or both.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing. And yeah, Rollins, God, him and Austin Theory had a match in the first hour of Raw the other night. That was like, this is the first hour. This is a great match. We were talking about it last night. It was incredible how paced that match was. It just came off very well. Rollins is definitely coming back from a year where he kind of was there last year, and now he's had a great, he had the great run with Cody, and now he's doing great things as US champion.
What's crazy is I don't think until he beat Riddle, what was the pay-per-view? Was where he beat Riddle, was that at Clash at the Castle?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was, I'm pretty positive that was Rollins' first pay-per-view win of the year.
Yep,
Not until
it was.
September.
Well,
And even-
I mean, he won at the Rumble by disqualification, if you
Right.
want to count.
True,
that.
if you want to be technical, yeah. But really,
That's
he
the
had been
trivia
on
guy
a
in
losing
me.
streak. He had been on a losing streak at every pay-per-view after that.
Yeah.
Even though he was losing, he's still arguably, I think him and Sammy would be MVPs of the year, to be honest.
And Greg, his DQ loss, he was like the least part of the entire Roman Lesnar Lashley story all night anyway.
Mhm.
So I mean, he was just kind of, again, the entrance was great because the Shield thing was a great thing to
Yeah.
see, but it was just kind of like, okay, he's gonna fill this spot. He's the means to an end.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Seth Rollins, that was just kind of what that was for him. But
I mean, if nothing else, we got a shot of him walking past Sharon Issa.
which was funnier than hell. That was cool.
I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to throw this out there. I want to get both of your opinions on this. Just based on how this angle is progressing with Sammy,
Okay.
what do you guys think of Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble?
I think it really depends if Cody's there.
Yeah.
If Cody's in the match, he's gonna win.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, Jeff. Because would I love to see it? Absolutely. But there's no chance in hell he's the one going to unseat Roman. The only one who legit at this point that could dethrone Roman Reigns is Cody. So I think if Sami does win the Rumble, it's because Cody's not there, which Cody needs to be there though, honestly, at this rate.
Well, Cody has a longer recovery period to have to endure than John Cena did, and John came back in 4 months because he's a freaking alien being. That's just John. I will say this though, I see your never say never, and I counter with Vince will die in his chair as the CEO and the chairman. It didn't happen, so never say never. Sami.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll bet mine and Aaron's hair on Zack Ryder never winning an Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll bet Aaron's facial hair on Shane McMahon not being crazy. I have learned, especially in the last since June, to never say never.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn could very well could shock the world. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I would be here for it. Crazier things have happened in the world of wrestling this year alone.
You will be there for it as it happens at Mania. So
but I agree with you. If Cody shows up to the Rumble, Cody is the odds-on favorite to win.
Yep.
And he should. So I think it depends if Cody shows up or not.
And they shouldn't announce that. It should very much. I mean, it's kind of like when he debuted. It's the worst kept secret if he does show up at the Rumble, because the recovery time's pretty much on point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But hey, if he doesn't, then that field of 30 is wide open, because we are definitely in the never say never era now.
Nobody could have predicted the Final Four on this year's men's one. Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. Nobody could have predicted that Final Four this year alone. So,
going into the event, I will agree with that, because Lesnar went into the event as the WWE champion. I mean, it was just like, wait, huh? So it was very, very bizarre night.
Yeah.
Listen, if Shane McMahon would have won that Rumble, I would have ranked it as the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time.
Of course you would have. That's your boy.
Shane's my boy. I can't help it.
Okay, so WWE, we know you watch. So let me just say this: please don't book Shane McMahon and Sasha Banks to win a Rumble the same night. Greg will explode. He will literally have a hemorrhage and just die right on camera. Please don't do that to us. We need Greg.
Hey, at least they'll go out well.
Fair.
We need our Cherry experience. We can't just have him just completely just.
Listen, Shane McMahon is one of the last 3 people that has a pinfall victory over Roman Reigns.
Oh my
it's
God,
him, Corbin, and somebody else. But
I don't even remember when Corbin beat Roman. What?
Corbin's the last person to pin Reigns.
That is probably
3 years ago, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
TLC
that is probably the most awful stat I've ever heard.
Who's the other one?
I can't remember. I know it was.
I'll look. Go ahead. I'll look. That's okay.
Wow.
I know it was Shane.
You know what's crazy? I am not fond of either Roman nor Corbin, so that stat hurts me a bit, to be honest.
Greg and I were fond of Corbin. Greg, I think, still is. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
I wish he would get more badass to his
I liked
badass
him for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I liked him for a total of 4 weeks when he was Sad Corbin. That was literally I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, they went through that story way too quick. They needed to let that play. I had visions in my mind of him doing that, and the heel starting to pick on him, and this wonderful babyface turn where he becomes this badass, and none of it transpired. It's are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah, I was there for the last night of Sad Corbin, because that was SummerSlam 2021.
Yeah.
So that was done way too soon.
That was a fun time. I actually found myself, it's crazy. I found myself cheering for people in the last couple of years that I never thought I'd be cheering for, like a Brock Lesnar. But here we are.
It's crazy.
Wrestling doesn't.
I am scrolling through the stats here.
The stats of Roman Reigns.
Jeff is on Cage Match right now looking.
I'm actually on Profile DB, but we'll go with Cage Match because they're more credible.
Cage match has detailed 2019
Right.
Roman Reigns win-loss record.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, it's that far back? Jesus, I'm scrolling way too slow. Okay.
Yeah, 2019, because Corbin was the last person to pin him. And that
Okay,
was
so
heel for
Corbin
2019.
beating Roman was at SmackDown taped on November 8th, 2019. That was the last time Roman lost by.
What kind of match was that?
It was apparently just a straight up match.
There's no way you beat him cleanly. Something
Yeah, I
had to
wouldn't
happen.
think so. Let's see. So
Like
okay,
the
so
TLC match
okay,
was. I
okay.
think it's TLC.
Would it-
So oh, that was DQ. Never mind. It was a
Yeah,
KO
that-
beat
that-
Roman. That was a DQ. Stupid.
Do we want to have bets? Who would be the last person? My mind is saying Brian, but I don't think it would be.
Well, it
Brian.
was like I said, it was Corbin. Then it was Shane before that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before Shane or if it was in the middle.
There
of
is
Shane.
no way that's actually the thing.
Would
Hang
it would
on a
have
second.
been? Would have been Rollins? I don't know. Like
Maybe.
KO? Like I don't know. I don't know how you want to know this answer. I'm not gonna.
I'm scared now, right? Okay.
Right.
All right. So it was a handicap tag, no contest. Okay, that's a no contest. That's not what's wrong. All right. So there's
Roman
Shane.
Reigns.
There's Shane at Super Showdown, which was
Would have been
God.
would have been Drew? No, it wouldn't have been Drew. I don't think.
Okay, there's Kevin. There's that one. All
Yeah,
right.
'cause he
I'm
faced
scrolling.
him
I'm
at
scrolling.
No, I need to
Oh,
find
okay,
out.
here you go. Here it is. Greg.
Yeah.
Okay. The event was 2018 Extreme Rules. Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
So straight
That's all that.
victories, no bullshit. Bobby Lashley Extreme Rules 2018. Granted, the Shane McMahon victory was complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Baron Corbin.
So the last three people are Lashley, who legit probably could be a threat to Roman. Like I don't think he's faced him as the head of the table.
Not
Shane
yet.
McMahon and Baron Corbin. Those are the last three people to pin
Wow.
Roman Reigns on TV
That
in the
is
last 4 years.
Ridiculous. And
Yeah.
then before that, in singles competition, it was
Brock probably.
Brock, yeah, Brock at the
Yeah.
Greatest Royal Rumble. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the well, okay, that was in the cage, and that was that screwy finish.
Yeah, but he
So-
also beat him at WrestleMania. So
Mm-hmm.
He did beat WrestleMania that year. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. So, but yeah, his
Wow.
his last 5 losses go back 4 years.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
he
That's
also
know.
has a disqualification loss to Xavier Woods. I'll point that out.
He
Okay.
he technically had a disqualification loss to Seth Rollins too.
Yeah.
So like, does it really count?
Well, but-
Eh,
But as far as non DQ, non
Yeah.
schmaz, I mean,
Yeah.
granted, the cage match with Brock was a schmaz finish,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's crazy how it's funny now because we were so up. Oh God, he was so sick of being shoved down our throats. It's like in the last 2 years where we've actually embraced. Oh, we love this new Roman character. He's only lost 2 times since he became.
I'm not part of that.
No,
I'm not
I'm
part
sorry.
of that embrace.
I take that back. Since he officially turned heel and hooked up with Heyman, he hasn't lost by pinfall yet.
Nope.
Like at all. Like not even in a non-title match. He just hasn't lost a freaking match. That's crazy. I don't want to ever hear anybody complain about it ever again. Ever. He has not dropped a clean pinfall or submission loss in over 2 years.
Yep.
Even in non-title matches. Hush your faces, all
And,
y'all.
and you know
Seriously.
what's crazy? Right now, after Logan Paul, our only other option is Mr. Money in the Bank.
You know, people are talking about that he doesn't have a match on Saturday. And that's worrisome to me.
Like, okay, so I am by far not the biggest fan of Roman Reigns, but I do respect him. And to
Absolutely.
me, anybody who knows me knows I am over this. I'm ready for a new champion. There is only Theory is one of the few people where I can't. So even in that scenario, I can't. I will keep on Roman Reigns if Theory can blunder his Money in the Bank cash.
But what if Logan hits that lucky punch after he gets beat and Theory cashes in then?
On Logan Paul?
No.
Oh, on Roman.
If Logan gets beat, but in the process of him, man-childing about
No.
it, punches Roman out anyway,
No.
and then Theory sneaks one in.
even I'm one who cannot stand the character of Roman Reigns. I still got respect for that man, and to lose to Theory, no.
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, well, he can just drop one title, and it's like, no. If Roman loses, then Roman loses. That's just the way it is. Especially if it's a Money in the Bank cash in, you have to win a pinfall or submission.
Yeah, no.
So if he's dropping the title, even if it's one, oh no, no.
You know, I am, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, but even I have some respect for Roman Reigns, and even not to Theory. No.
If it had been Theory when he first came up from NXT and he wasn't immediately had the Vince's boy label thrown on him, I could maybe get behind it a little bit. But now it's just like,
he was the way Austin Theory, like with Gargano.
Yes. I love that they all just came together. It was a big giant swerve that Gargano's being this, plucky little investigator trying to be a hero. It's like, no, I was always the dick. Just kidding.
Yeah. All right, so that's about the end of our show. Ella, thank you very much for being here. Do you have anything that you'd like to plug in your laundry list of things that you're doing right now?
I got a couple interviews coming out. Tomorrow I'm interviewing a former NXT UK superstar, so that's going to be releasing next week probably. I have a lot going on. You just follow me on Twitter at It's Ella J to stay updated with all of that. I have like 4 interviews alone in the next couple days for 4 different platforms. So just the easiest way is just to follow me on Twitter and then go to the link in my bio, to be honest with you. But this has been so much fun, and we'll start the campaign, Ella and Greg for Quizzlemania tag team edition. So
there you go.
So I'm trying to remember who's the tag team champions. It's either Sean and RJ City, or it's Will Washington and Denise Salcedo.
I think it's Will and Denise.
Yes,
unless they just lost.
They have more complicated title history than they have more complicated title history than I think any wrestling organization ever has. So I don't know.
That's my that's one of my main goals for 2023 is Quizzlemania. Screw everything else. It's Quizzlemania.
There you go. We will begin the LJ for Quizzlemania promotion immediately.
Yes.
So Ella, thank you very much again for joining us. Jeff, as always. And yes, this is the last show in this studio, this room right here. So next time,
what backgrounds are you going to have for your green screen? I'm curious.
I have no idea. I haven't thought that far. I want to get the move done. I want vacation. I have not thought of anything yet. My brain, my wife says her brain is like marshmallow right now with everything going on. So I sympathize. I get that. A lot to go on, but this was a fun show. Yes, and LJ for Quizzlemania. We will be promoting the crap out of that one.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will see you not next week. I will definitely not be here next week, but I will see you later this month.
Yes,
I'll say that much for the next edition of the Greg Cherry Show. Go enjoy Dynamite.
I'll see you all Saturday.
Yes, don't be a jag, and have a good night.